Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rock Shop with Ralph, your source for all things entertainment. We're having a ball here today. I have multi-platinum recording artist from Mr. Big. What's your name? Eric Martin is on the show. We were having a ball. We're laughing. We're joking here. And this guy is a funny cat. How you doing, Eric?
You know the part of the, have you ever seen that Warner Brothers cartoon where they find the frog and then, you know, the frog's like, hello, my baby, hello,
my darling,
ragtime girl. And then they put it on Broadway and they open the box and the frog goes, ribbit. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. I was so funny before the show started, but he is so funny.
Yeah.
Dance for me, monkey. I'm like,
yeah, that's it. It's nothing now. We were having a ball. We were joking, laughing and joking, talking about growing up. And I got to say, grew up in Queens for a small portion, but he did grow up in Queens. A stone's throw from Ozone Park, where I grew up. He grew up in Kew Gardens for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, 5 years I lived in Kew Gardens. So does that, am I a native?
Listen, you can take the boy out of Queens. You can't take Queens out of the boy. Remember that.
Hey, look, and I hope this is going to be okay. Okay, so my mother is actually from New Jersey. She was born in Englishtown, and
racetrack.
Yeah, and she came over. Well, I don't know. It wasn't a racetrack then.
Well, there's big racetrack.
It was a farming area, but and she came to New York, you know, and met my father, and they got married, and then they moved to Kew Gardens, and then I was born, you know, a couple of years later. Lived there for 5 years, and don't remember very much. I went back to visit some relatives that I can't remember, but it was, you know, a row of apartment buildings, pretty much looked the same.
Yeah.
And I kind of remember a little that, you know, you got like some old sepia tone pictures and shit, you know, from the early days. And they go, oh, there's our son, Eric, kicking the can. So I think, you know,
that's a game. Kick the can.
Kick the can was a kind of a game.
Right. Well, that's what we played. We played Kick the Can. Skelsy was a game. Ringalerio, Johnny on the Pony. Those are Queens games.
Johnny and the Pony, I kind of remember. And what did Bill Cosby used to say, some game that it was like a doing the dozens. I don't know if that's.
No, I don't know that one.
It was like being sarcastic to each other, but that was later on, you know. But I don't know any of those. What
Skelsy? Skelsy's a game you play in a schoolyard. You make a chalk box with numbers, and you take a bottle cap, and you melt a crayon in it, and you flick the bottle cap. You got to get it on the numbers.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's Skelsy. Listen, when you're from Queens and you're growing up, I'm 51. You know, you didn't have those video games. It's before the video game age, so you had to pass the time, and that passed the time a lot. Hopscotch, you know, Johnny on the Pony, Ringalerio, all that stuff. Kick the can. Imagine that. Make a game. Kick the can. You just kick the can.
It's the tools that we had, but Ringalerio. What the hell's that?
Yeah, that's that. It takes a while to explain that one, but it's just
really.
Yeah. It's just.
I don't think you can look that shit up.
You know? Red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Did you ever see that one?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you know, see, you didn't forget Queens.
Did you play? So this was later on in life, and this is a little outside of the New York area. But when like being a teenager, did you ever play you played dodgeball?
Oh yeah.
But like when it would be raining outside, I remember my hard ass coach would take. He would take the jocks on one side, and he would take what we in the 70s he'd call the heads, the heads, you know, the pod heads, the guys, the guys,
heads,
the guys that have like tape on their glasses.
The nerds.
Guys would always wear their dingo boots on the gym floor. You know, like they just didn't get it. Like you're supposed to wear white shorts and white shirt or whatever the school name
colors were.
And the guys were like wearing paisley shirts and that would be, and bell bottom. You know, Mr. Martin, you know, take your bell bottoms off and put your gym shorts on. I'm like, what are you talking about? What?
What?
Like Vinnie Barbarino or something. But I remember like when it would rain, they would have the heads and jocks play dodgeball, right, to get the shit out of their system, and they play it with a soccer ball, and then basically these jocks
Beating the shit out of each other.
yeah, I could all I remember from high school. Hey, do you remember your high school years? Yeah, volleyballs hitting my faces like as hard as hard as it could, man. So yeah, good times.
Did you ever play ring and run?
Is that like dash and dine, or is like
Yeah. I was like, you take some dog crap and you put it in a bag and you let and you let it on fire. You leave it on the stoop and you ring the bell. The guy comes out and you run and the guy's.
So my dad was in the Army, and we lived in Kew Gardens for like I said, like 5 years, 6 maybe. We moved to Taiwan because he was stationed there. My
That's a
brother
big difference.
Taiwan. And then we moved all over like Germany and Italy and Switzerland, and then all over the United States. But we moved to when we moved to California, it was like junior high school or elementary school or something like that, and they had like this orientation where I met all these kind of kids, these California kids, and they go, yeah, to be in our club, you have to, strip down naked and stick a marshmallow in your butt and run across the gym floor. And if it falls out, you got to eat it. And I was like, I remember coming home that day, kind of crying to my father going, can we go back?
Can we go back?
Can we go back to Europe?
That's crazy.
It's nuts. I don't think anybody ever did it, but it was like the same concept of like, oh boy, I'm really opening up a can of kicking the can.
Yeah,
of worms.
I think you better stop soon.
Oh no, that's okay. I don't care. I mean, we were kids. I mean, God, we'd rip out the pages of Playboy, and we'd pretend like, like say the smaller copies of the pictures, it'd be the centerfold, and then have the small copies. We'd cut it out and put it in a wallet, and we'd say, "Yeah, that was our girlfriend."
Oh, that was like the kid that would take the when you bought a photograph from like Sears, the picture frame, and they had that photograph inside of it. You would cut it out, and there's my girlfriend. That's pretty.
Or like the same concept of like the circle jerk. Remember like those circle jerk stories where like the guys like get a circle and you turn the lights off and the last one like doing it. We're like, yeah.
Well, listen, we're here to talk about your career. We're here to talk about your career, and we're here to talk about where we are now. So let's talk about your first band. Well, not the first band. In your beginnings, you had. Most people know you from Mr. Big. I mean, that's the elephant in the room, Mr. Big. Before Mr. Big, you were a solo artist, and you had a band called the 415s.
Total fucking Ozone Park talk. That's how like I had a neighbor that was from I think he was from Seaford or something like that. I don't remember.
That's Long Island.
Yeah, and he would say the same thing. He would go like he's actually from Paducah, Kentucky, and he'd go, and his wife was from Long Island, and he would say, "Hey, we got the 415s across the street." The band's called 415. It's kind of like we got the Mr. Bigs here.
415, right? Okay.
Yeah, 415, but the area code of San Francisco.
San Francisco, correct.
I thought you were gonna go way back, man. Like way back.
Well,
I started out in a bunch of bands that had great rock and roll names. I mean, 415 was a cool little thing, new wavy sounding name. But like, I was in a heavy metal band when I was around 16, and it was called Fire Beast. Now, I wish it was Fire Beast. I wish it was.
You wish I would have started with that one.
We had a big banner, Pentangles and Fire Beast and that kind of stuff.
But you don't look like a Fire Beast type, Eric. So you do look like the 415 type. You know what I mean?
So like in Mr. Big, I know. I always had I always seemed to have like a kind of a clean cut image. I never really had like the devil worshiping rock star.
The reason why I was starting with 415 was that was like the band you had when you became the Eric Martin band when you had your moderate success with your solo stuff. Sucker for a Pretty Face when you had the skinny tie and you know, you had the very 38 special new wave sounding band, I believe.
First of all, you said you're 51.
Yes,
Yeah, you had a bolo tie, didn't you?
absolutely.
Come on, man. And
I had it, but I also had the spandex and I had hair, believe it or not, at one time.
Yeah.
I could rock it.
When I was in the Fire Beast days or the high school days, I had really long hair down on my ass, right? And then when I got in 415, I had the long hair. You know, I struggled in LA and I moved to Hayward, California, and got in tight with some of these guys. They were in a band called Mile High. This guy, John Nyman, who was actually the guitar player for Y&T and has been for decades. Troy Laketta, drummer for Tesla. Yeah, and so these were the guys at 415. We were strugglers back in the day, and we all had long hair. And then I kind of started cutting the hair, right, a little bit. And then like 415 Eric Martin band. But then when the solo days came after Eric Martin band, that's when like everybody goes, oh, you know, you had a mullet. And I go, no, man, that wasn't a mullet. It was a Bono.
Bono.
It's still a Bono without the shit, you know. But yeah, I had like my little flowery shirt, a bolo tie, got this mullety Bono thing happening, and yeah, 415 Eric Martin band, good stuff. But Eric Martin band was not a can we just say EMB?
Yeah,
my teeth are getting in the way. EMB wasn't a new wave thing. It was kind of like the poor man's Night Ranger.
Yeah, and I also hear some 38 special in there, maybe.
I do too.
Yeah,
I hear. Well, it's ironic that you said that because what was his name? Rodney Mills and Kevin Elson. Kevin Elson produced
many of your albums,
but then he was the sound engineer for Lynyrd Skynyrd. Rodney Mills produced 38 Special.
Yes,
right, and Atlanta Rhythm Section. And our first record was in Doraville or Atlanta, Georgia. And so we definitely had a little 38 Special twang to it.
Yeah.
Not that much. It was pretty slick Journey.
Yeah, 80 mid 80s soundings, heavy keyboards. You also toured with Eddie Money, fellow Queens native, who grew up 10 minutes from Kew Gardens. He grew up in Woodhaven.
Edward Mahoney actually
was a cop.
My mother-in-law went to high school with him.
There you go. So she's from he was originally from Woodhaven. Most people didn't know that.
From Long Island.
And then he moved to Plainview.
Yeah, okay.
That's probably where your mother-in-law knows him from. Great guy. What a rest in peace, Eddie.
Oh, great guy, man. I love touring with this guy. He had stories constantly.
Jokes.
And had a couple, you know, he was drinking back in the day. And yeah, this one time, this is kind of a bad story. I shouldn't even say this. I had such great times with Eddie. He was like, he would put his arm around me. He was like, hey, look at it. Hey, I love this kid. Doing like noogies in my head. You know? And we'd go to radio stations. And I was still a newbie. And if I was stumbling in the I go, well, I grew up. And he goes, hey, I got this kid. You know, we would do interviews together, and he basically talked through the whole thing, and I'd just go, yeah. in awe. He was so funny.
What a great guy.
Cool. But we were playing this gig in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I did a lot of college, like university shows with him. We were playing in Albuquerque, and actually it was a funky gig for me because the night before we were playing in Las Cruces, and I get out, and usually on the monitor, there's a little white piece of tape with the name of the city that you're in, because a lot of rock stars, you know, they're a little preoccupied with their lyrics and the songs and the entertainment and who's on first and blah, blah, blah. They forget where they are. And I didn't have the luxury of that. We're the opening act, 45 minutes. And I get out there and I go, you know, maybe 5,000 people in an arena, Albuquerque, and I go, Las Cruces, I love you, you know, and like, I haven't, it's been a long, long time since I heard 5,000 people simultaneously booing. You know?
Oh, that's bad.
It's like synchronized booing, you know? So, but at the end of the gig, Eddie brought me out and we sang "You Really Got a Hold On."
Hold on me.
So cool. But he was a little he was kind of knackered a little bit. Knackered being sleepy, but sleepy with like liquid sleepy.
Yeah.
So he's on this mic stand, and he's hanging on it, and it's not built correctly. It's like a shitty old club mic stand, and he just goes and it starts bending. He just looks at me and is like, "Oh, fuck it," and just like
He falls back.
Falls on the ground. The crowd's thinking it's an act. They're loving it. And he goes, and the mic, and he's grabbing the mic, and he goes, "Hey, just finish the second verse, will you, kid?" And I'm like,
I saw him. I saw him at a show, and he was playing, and he stumbled the words a little bit, and then he goes, 7 rehabs. What the fuck you expect? He goes, he yells it out. What a great guy.
Oh, great! He did this thing. He'd go take his sunglasses off, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing there?" And he sort of pivot around, just kind of pivot. Look, he was like a minimal kind of stage guy. It was just he was like me in a way. I did all my running around earlier, and maybe a little bit of Mr. Big, but mainly it was just a Paul Rogers stand there and just
belt it out,
give it. And that's what he did. I really admired that guy a lot.
What a great guy. Rest in peace, Eddie.
Yeah, great guy.
So, I mean, you got the EMB, and you wind up that Billy Sheehan is forming this it's been documented. We all know it. I'm just going to run through it real quickly because I hate to beat a dead horse. But coming,
but you're gonna anyway.
Well, very quickly, right. Before we get to.
Go ahead.
So they're forming this super group. Now, you talk about 4 different guys from different spots of the world and this super group. You had Billy Sheehan, Paul Gilbert, and Pat Torpey, and they formed Mr. Big. And you come out in 1989 with the Hat and Shoes album.
It's funny that you said that. My kids used to say that same thing. It was just called Mr. Big, but they were like,
right.
Yeah, the Hat and Shoes, and then later on, the train.
The train, bump ahead, right?
Yeah. No.
I'll lean into it. I'm sorry. Lean into it.
You better edit that out. Man.
There's no editing. There's no editing here. But yeah, so they come out, and when you guys came out, I was like, holy shit, man, this is like a breath of fresh air. When Addicted to That Rush came. Oh, so I mean, and what's that?
Hat and Shoes.
Hat and Shoes, yeah. And then at the end of the video, the Hat and Shoes are there.
Right.
And the cane.
I remember that where we shot that. We shot it at the Hollywood Palace on Hollywood and God, I don't remember. It was in the Hollywood area, off of Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood Palace. Man, it was they brought all these people in they weren't fans because really nobody really knew us, and they were just rock fans. They brought them in. And they became fans at the end of the day because you're just singing that or lip syncing, dancing this tune, whatever, pulling out all the entertainment antics for 10, 12 hours, doing the same shit over and over again.
Right.
But, oh man, that got a lot of miles on that video.
Here's a question I wanted to ask you about that band. My outside opinion of it was you had 4 different guys, like total opposites, Was it put together by the record company and just says, oh, how about this guy? How about that guy? And just wanted to see what was going to work, or you guys knew one another and
No, it was the supergroup thing. That's what they said in the advertisements. I don't know. I mean, I guess it was kind of a super group, but no, it wasn't prefab at all. A guy named Mike Varney.
Oh, from Shrapnel Records.
Shrapnel Records, producer. Great guy. I've been friends with him for 40 years, maybe.
Right.
And he called me out of the blue and said, Billy Sheehan, do you know who that is? And I said, haven't got a clue.
There you go. See?
Yeah. And he goes,
Tallis.
He goes, yeah, ironic. Hey, you owe me a Coke.
Yeah.
He goes, He goes, Tallis. And I go, no, I
I
haven't.
still don't know him.
And he goes, David Lee Roth Band. I go, oh, that's the guy, he's a bass player in the Yankee Rose.
Yankee Rose.
And he goes, yeah, he's not with David Lee Roth anymore, and he wants to start a band. I played him some music of yours. He's really interested in your voice. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I got this solo thing happening. I was on Capitol Records.
And that album, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you had a gold album with EMB, right?
No.
No?
No. A lot of that saying no. I mean, did I? Look over.
You better check. I thought it was gold.
Looking on the wall, it's not there.
All right.
Look, see, it's not there.
Okay, I see it.
Well, but after EMB, I was a solo artist on Capitol Records, and I didn't know who I wanted to be back. And then Daryl Hall, Paul Young. It definitely wasn't hard rock. It was kind of R&B rock and roll. Eddie Money,
like Paul Rogers,
yeah, and like Paul Rogers solo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was going for. And I did a movie soundtrack called the movie
Teachers.
was called Teachers. Oh, you know what? Should I say it, or do you know my history?
When I do my research, Eric, come on.
All right. Well, let me just tell the inside
Absolutely.
story. So Teachers, I wrote a song with Neil Sean. My manager, Herbie Herbert, managed Journey. And there was the connection there. And Neil was a neighbor. We kind of hooked up. We wrote 3 or 4 songs. And one of the songs, actually, we wrote a song for Vision Quest first. This movie, Vision Quest.
Yeah, with Matthew Modine.
Which was called Eyes of the World. And I borrowed it right from the script. And I wrote this really cool song with Neil. And it would have got me off my father's couch, man. It would have made me thousands of dollars, which I only had. I don't think I even ever had $100 bill in my pocket for years up until that moment. And in the 11th hour, I got beat out by, Lunatic Fringe or something like that.
But Journey had the song. Only the Young was in that soundtrack.
Yeah, and
was Dio was on that. Hungry for Heaven, and Madonna Crazy for You was on that soundtrack.
Yeah, huge hits. I'm telling you, it would have.
Yeah, you would have had a huge hit.
I would have made it. I would have went from Hamburger Helper to probably some some good food. Maybe got to eat out once a month.
Right.
Anyway, we kept that Eyes of the World, and we wrote another song called I Can't Stop the Fire for the Teachers movie. It's as if you've ever seen the movie, any you oldsters, Ralph Macchio's who's one of my heroes.
Cobra Kai.
I love him. And so Ralph Macchio is it Ralph Macchio?
Nick Nolte was in it. Ralph Macchio. Yeah.
Are you thinking about or Ralph Macchio? Okay.
Thomas Ian Nicholas, the kid from Weird Science.
Right. So Ralph Macchio comes out and of the school and pulls a fire drill, and everybody's dancing on the cars, and it plays the whole song, and it really it helped me out. Anyway, I shouldn't tell it. This is a long story short, but I'm going to make it a little longer. I remember going to the premiere of that, and it was me and Neil, and we're sitting at a table with me, Neil, Ian Hunter is there. This guy's 38 Special are on. There you
go. See,
they're on it. I don't remember if Brian Adams was there, maybe Joe Cocker, but everybody's sitting around this table, and then we all go to the premiere, and Night Ranger's on it too, and they're old friends from the way back. I mean, I've known all of them, so well. Jack Blades and I played in bands together. Anyway, I remember being in the stands of this movie theater, and they play I Can't Stop the Fire, and me and Neil going, this is awesome. They're playing the whole song. And then the Night Ranger band, they're going to kill me. Fuck them. It's funny. Anyway, so Jack and Kelly and all the guys come in, and they're all wearing long leather jackets, and they're behind me and Neil. And then second song comes up, and it's called Interstate Love Affair. And it's this little Crispin Glover and the other guy, one of the guys who's driving this stolen car around. And it only lasts like seconds. and we could hear Night Ranger in the back going, "This is bullshit. It's unacceptable." And they just stand up and they just leave, right?
Wow.
I felt bad for them, but I also
They played your song and not theirs.
Yeah, well, it was luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Ranger, hey, secret of my success, did really good back in the 70s or 80s. So anyway, long story short, Mike Varney goes, I played him I Can't Stop the Fire, and I played him some of your solo stuff, and he sees the diversity. He's definitely, loves your voice, kind of looks at you like kind of a Steve Marriott, Paul Rogers kind of guy. I'm like, all right, this is cool. But all the while I'm going, oh, man, I don't know what's happening with my solo career. And Mike goes, well, you can talk to him yourself. He's on the line. He was notorious for doing that. So he did it. And Billy goes, hey, I really like your voice. And that was it. Him and I
clicked,
and we made a little demo. Then I remember going around to some of the, we went to Warner Brothers first because of Billy's, connection with Ted Templeman. So we went there first, and Ted, he didn't hear it. He'd like to hear something else. He would like to hear more, or I don't really remember what the problem was, but he just didn't hear it. And then Billy, I remember seeing Paul Gilbert come to, Billy judged a guitar contest in LA, and Paul Gilbert was in the contest, and Billy picked him as the winner. And then they just got to talking, and Paul admitted that, like, I've seen Tallis a million times. I'm one of your biggest fans. And that it was organic, that happened. And then the three of us, we were in a rehearsal studio called the Alley rehearsal place in LA. I had a piano in the middle of the room. I wrote a couple songs, and they're probably looking at me coming in, going, wow, what the fuck? Elton John's here, But I'm looking. Billy
they're playing with drills, and you're playing the piano.
Yeah. Oh, Paul comes in with all these massive amps, Billy massive amps, and we're auditioning drummers. And the one drummer comes in. His name is Bobby Urechika. I totally remember that because I only remember that he was a good drummer, but he has a cool name, Urechika. Cool. And that was Paul's friend, and he came in and he left. And then the second guy was Pat Torpy, and bada boom, bada bing, hello. He could play drums.
Session guy.
Super great drummer. He was in the Knack.
He came out of the Knack. I was going to say he came out of the Knack and joined that band.
He'd already played with Impellitteri. He did everything. He played with Belinda Carlisle, Impellitteri, Ted Nugent, he was a session guy. He played with everybody.
Diverse, yeah.
And so he came in, and then I think I said, hey, can you sing? And he goes, yeah, I can sing. And then I think we sang a little Beatles or something, and he was Paul McCartney incarnate.
Wow.
It was just amazing. So yeah. Sorry, Bobby Urechika, you didn't make the cut. It was the second guy got in. And so the ad people at Atlantic Records called it supergroup or radio and television. I don't know. It wasn't us. It just fell together organically.
Well, the first album was moderately successful. Now here we come to the second album where you had your monster hit, which everybody knows you about. Second album, Lean Into It. The single was, what's it called again? I think I forgot the name of it.
To Be or Not to Be.
I'm the one who wants to be with you.
You know what?
Deep inside, I hope you feel it too. Come on.
I count about 4 notes that you hit correctly.
That's it. And I'm a singer. And I'm a singer in a band, believe it or not. Now,
are you?
I'm recovering. Let me give it up. Let me give it up.
A couple notes you might want to quantize.
I wouldn't dare sing that song. I play songs in my realm,
Dude.
But yes. Now,
just talking about this with this guy Larry Moran, who puts together the Monsters of Rock cruise, and he was asking me if I'd like to be a part of it this year. And I'm like, yeah. And I don't know how we're going to fit you in, but maybe do an acoustic thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm no stranger to that. I'm cool. And he goes, when was the last time we had you? And I go, well, it was the time where it's kind of sad. It was actually Jimmy Bain died on the boat. And then Joe Elliott got sick, and me and Kip Winger and Andrew Freeman from Last in Line basically took over singing duties for Joe Elliott with Def Leppard. And my point is, like you said, To Be With You, I sang Photograph in the shower. I never sang Photograph on stage in front of like 3,000-4,000 boat fans. And here Phil Collin, the guitar player and the musical director of Def Leppard, writes out the verse and the chorus, verses and choruses for each of us, me and Kip and Andrew, to sing. Andrew, I don't think it was a part of that. It was just me and Kip. And he put it on the floor and he wrote it out wrong. He wrote the chorus wrong.
Oh boy.
So, excuse me, me and Kip are like, I don't need you. And the crowd's going, want you.
Want you. They're like, what the fuck is this? We paid $450 a ticket for this shit.
I know. And Joe Elliott is like leaning against the amps going like this. Yeah, you guys are great.
Yeah. You guys are great.
I mean, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool to be asked to do it. But when you start singing other people, like, look, once in a while I'll be playing on stage, doing solo stuff, rock band solo stuff with the knuckleheads from Trixter, backing me up. And there'll be people singing in the audience, and I'll kind of stop the show and I'll bring some of these knuckleheads, not knuckleheads. They're not knuckleheads. They're beautiful fans. God love them. But when they start singing To Be With You a little out of key, they're knuckleheads and they got to come up.
Yeah.
And they come up and they sing the song, and it's
let me ask you. I mean, this song was #1 in 15 countries. You have a #1 record, and it's an acoustic song. And you guys. I mean, it's been said before. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, as I said before, but you at Extreme are known for an acoustic song. And
I know.
What do you have to say to that? I mean, is it the bane of your existence? Does it bother you? I know you obviously you made money off of it. We know that it's called the music business for a reason. But then is the record company feeding it down your throat? Okay, where's the next one? Okay, we're gonna release Just Take My Heart, and then the next album comes out, and let's have Wild World on it. They just want to keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, one of my favorite songs ever from you guys was "The Promise of the Moon."
What's your point?
The point is, you're known for that acoustic. Were you guys getting mad as your career went forward that this is your song? You're gonna have to keep playing that song. You wanted to play Green Tinted 60s Mind. You wanted to play Addicted to That Rush, which you did play, but you're known for that one song.
I don't know about the other guys. They probably say the same thing I am. No, I loved the fact that first of all, we didn't set out to have a hit. I didn't write To Be With You to like, hey, maybe I'll get on the radio in 30 years, right. 40 years, And no, not at all. I mean, I got lucky to have To Be With You on the record as it is. Everybody loved it in the band, but nobody thought, we're going to make millions. Stuck it at the end of the record, and it was the little engine that could. It did great. Right. But look, there was like 4 or 5 songs prior to that they pushed, and Atlantic was actually going to drop us. I remember at one time, but To Be With You, #1, 15 countries. Right. And this is an old saying, the gift that keeps on giving, but it was the gift horse, man. God, no, man, look, people that come to see us, first of all, look at the poster. Or look at the, it's like a metaphor. It's Billy Sheehan. Right. It's Paul Gilbert. Of course it's going to rock. Right. Well,
I should rephrase that question. What I was going to, what I'm trying to say is, was the record company tell you have to write the next To Be With You as you were going forward?
They suggested, like, every album So when they realized that,
And I love the song, by the way.
oh yeah, I do too, and appreciate that.
Yeah.
And 15 other countries do too.
Yeah.
So who knew?
Oh no.
So when Atlantic Records realized that, oh my God, this was a band that some of them didn't have any hope in, and we completely turned around at the end of the album cycle, pushing all the other songs that we had out. I mean, I think we were pushing Alive and Kicking, Never Say Never, a bunch of rock,
Promise for the Moon.
No, that was later, but like rock, like some heavy rock stuff. And then To Be With You makes it #1 in 15 countries, and Atlantic went, oh, this is cool. And just like any other record company, give me the next hit,
Right.
And so when we put out Bump Ahead, we thought, well, I mean, like they released Just Take My Heart. That was, look, you do the same thing. I wish they didn't. It would have been nice to have another side of Mr. Big to put up.
Right.
But they put Just Take My Heart, and it climbed to
16.
The charts. Yeah. No,
Right.
A lot of people don't get to be 20 or 30.
Exactly.
Shit. Look, I remember back in the day, man, when Mr. Big, we were like at 120 on the charts with our first album. We were like,
right.
Champagne, anyone?
Yeah. We made it. We cracked 100.
Woo! Our record went bronze. Anyway.
Our record went pewter.
That's better. I'm going to use that. I like that.
You can use it.
You're in the 80s, dude, man. Pewter. That was a thing. Anyway, so when we made Bump Ahead, I wrote a song, and I thought this
got the guitar out. All right.
Look. Sorry. Promise of the Moon,
Love that song. Love that song.
To be forgotten. Great song. And I thought this could be a radio song, but not. Right. I'm just thinking everything Mr. Big ever did, and you can ask the remaining three, or me included, we did everything to do live. If it sounded, we were just only thinking, man, the crowd's gonna like it. We weren't thinking like, we weren't going, give me the next To Be With You. We thought like we had a hit. We thought people are gonna play us in our minds, well, yeah, people will probably. Radio is a way to advertise this band is viable. Come and go and see their shows. So in our minds, we weren't thinking, give me the next radio hit, but the record company does. Of course they do. And it was a little tug of war every album, man.
Right.
When so we put out Bump Ahead, and it's got some cool ass rock and roll songs on it. I'm not gonna say a little more poppier, but there's a song called Trapped in Toyland, which is really cool. A song that opens the track. Promise of the Moon, a song called kind of a funk, Faith No More-esque song, or maybe Parliament Funkadelic song called What's It Gonna Be? Just we were able to branch out. Actually, I think we were able to branch out when we wrote Green Tinted 60s Mind, where we were not just going to be the 4-on-the-floor rock and roll band. We're just going to have a little bit more variation. But so Bump Ahead comes out, or we give them Bump Ahead, and they're like, yeah, it's not killing me. Can you guys, we need a radio hit. And we're like,
that's got to be a horrible feeling. I mean,
a horrible feeling, but I knew, look, I was making records.
Yeah.
Billy he made a record with Tallis, a couple of them, I think, but I made records. Herbie Herbert was my manager. We knew the game to play. So I'm going, oh, okay, fuck. What are you going to do? But I remember Paul getting so pissed and upset. He wrote a song, and the title was called 7 Impossible Days. It's on one of the Mr. Big, like rare tracks or B-sides.
Right.
and a Monday morning out of my mind, and just a chronological, you know what the word I'm thinking of, just like a
Chronological order.
chronological order of like I gotta write this fucking hit song for these folks. So I'm gonna write a song right now called 7 Impossible Days. And while he's writing it, I think this is the story goes. I think while he was writing it, he was saying, well, hey, let's give him whatever. Let's give him whatever. Hey, what is this? Watch me choke here, but live, I'm great.
You had about like, four notes right there.
Oh, baby, it's a wild world. You know, what's he plays a couple of the opening parts of that. And he goes, what is that? And we go, Wild World, Cat Stevens. He goes, fucking, 7.
Let's give him that.
7 Impossible Days later, he goes, let's give him that. And
there you go.
Gave him that. And it was skyrocketed again. Like
you had to hit with that. Another acoustic song. I got a question regarding the lyrics. And I don't want to take too much more time.
Lyrics of what? Wild World? Please
no. Lyrics on To Be With You. When you say waiting on a line of greens and blues. Was that a drug reference?
Listen, Mario Cipollina. Don't get me started here. Don't you? Hey, we don't edit here.
There's no editing. When you said waiting on a line of greens and blues, and also green 10 to 16 mind, what can you just? What is it?
No. Greens and blues. Basically, I had a mood ring when I was a kid, and green was like happy, and blues were sad, right? And greens and blues. I mean, it's just a happy, sad reference when I was, like in the 70s, and I kind of brought it to the table,
right?
And waited on a line of greens and blues. Basically, the girl that I liked.
You wrote that for a girl.
I'm waiting on a line. Yeah, she kept saying no. We're just friends. A million times.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but all these other guys, there was a few guys before me that just like, what do they have that I don't have? And I guess maybe, experience, maybe, I don't know.
Now the question is, what do you have that they don't have? And you have a platinum album, multi-platinum album.
Yeah.
Well, I got your back, Eric. Come on.
Yeah. That's like muscles on a beach, man. What do I got? Yeah, I don't know. Hey, look, I didn't get the girl. I didn't get the girl. Ever.
But you got the career.
I got the career, and the legacy. I mean, Mr. Big was a great rock and roll band.
9 albums you guys made. Sadly, I mean, I hate to bump ahead, but you guys made 9 albums. The last being Defying Gravity in 2017. Sadly, the drummer Pat Torpey passed away from complications from Parkinson's disease. I'm sure you've been asked this question before. I know you guys were going to disband anyway. I have to ask it. Any possibility that band would continue?
This is your blabbermouth headline right here.
No, don't say it. But I know. Well, we don't want to, but I had to ask it. I've been easy on you thus far. I have to ask you. Any no way.
No, the conversation has not come up.
Okay.
Since we toured without Pat. We had some contractual things. Well, Matt played with us as a sub drummer with Pat in the band,
right?
For a few years, where Pat, poor guy, was deteriorating,
Yeah.
But still persevered, still worked really hard on stage. I mean, we had a kind of, he called it a cocktail kit that was on the side of the drums, and he would bounce back and forth. Like he'd play like 5 songs and then get tired and then play this percussion kit, but it was constantly singing and entertaining the audience and stuff. Anyway, we, in 2018, was it 18? 17, 18?
17 was Defying Gravity.
Yeah. I was there. I know. No, I'm talking about the tour afterwards. When Pat passed, we had a tour on the books. And so we went out without Pat, and we just went out with Matt, Pat. That was always kind of a weird tongue twister, but we went out with just Billy, Paul, Matt, and myself, and we did a few shows in Australia with Extreme, and then we did a tour in Europe. Ironically, Chris Jericho, Fozzy opened. That's how I got to know Chris. And it was good. But the conversation hasn't come up. Me and Billy, once in a while, every couple months, go, man, it'd be great to get the band back together, or man, never say never, or it'd sure be nice to record some music, maybe do one last, I remember saying, one last hurrah, and let's do one more tour. And it's just words, we're just keeping, we're keeping the door open, but it's getting a little drafty in here.
I got you. One footnote I want to mention, Mr. Big was big here. You guys were huge in Japan. You also had a #1 album with Hey Man, went to #1 in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, and you have a career overseas as well. So I think if it did happen that you got back together, I think it would be there first. But the door is open. Maybe I'd love to see you guys again. I saw you guys.
Eric Martin says the door.
No.
Dude. Hey, it'd be great. It'd be great for you, but it would be, it's kind of pointless. I mean, like, look,
right.
I'm saying, I'm stuttering here. No, the door is open, but the door is open like to just peek your head in. And
this much.
It's not a thing.
I got you, Eric. I got you. But I had to ask. That was my one question that I had to ask.
Absolutely. I love the fact that you want to keep the torch burning. The fans that are out there would love to see, like the younger fans that didn't get to see Mr. Big.
Absolutely.
It'd be great to rock out for him. And who knows, there might be like a one-off or two-off or whatever they say, Well, I'm open.
Yes.
But I'm not dwelling about it like I used to, man. I used to freak out every year looking at the phone going, ring, goddamn you, all the time. And I just don't, it's not that I don't care. I look back on it and I go, man, we played thousands and thousands of shows. I'm telling you, Ralph, when I, like just recently, I have to get a passport. I'm going to Europe, June, July, and August, touring all over Europe with a rock opera and doing solo shows. And I have to get a new passport. I have 4 passports they're completely full of stamps.
Right, from the touring.
It impresses nobody except it used to impress my kids. They go, Dad, you went to Turkey? Or Dad, you've been to Russia 5 times.
Wow.
Like, yes, sir. And like, my neighbors are like, so what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you got Eric Martin's Big Acoustic with a bunch of East Coast guys.
Knuckleheads.
Yeah. But you got to see, I told you could take Queens out of you, but you could take you out of Queens, but not Queens out of you, because you got the East Coast guys. You got Steve Brown and PJ Farley from Trixter. Absolutely. And you got the hairdo, Joey Cassata.
Who doesn't love the author, the drummer, the actor? Let's not forget Z-Rock, man.
Yeah. Did you see the bit he did with Jake the Snake Roberts about eating pizza?
Hey, look, I think Joey's hilarious.
Yeah, he did. He has his little thing.
I hope some company picks up Joey Licious, because he is
Joey Licious.
I mean, we bust his balls constantly, but he's great. He's great.
Had a best-selling book. I want to give you a plug, Joey. A wrestling book. Joey Licious had his wrestling book was a bestseller.
A couple of them, actually. Not just a wrestling book. It's a life story, rock and roll wrestling. Start with a Dream. And then he's got the Joey Licious book that's out.
Joey Licious. I love
it too. And there's a couple clips you can see on YouTube, that are really funny. I mean,
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you were a Z-Rock fan, you're Z-Rock is no more anymore, and you know, obviously sad circumstances there. But if you want to get a little taste of that comedy, you watch Joey in that show, and his book is the same way. It's hilarious.
Yes, but we got you going out with Eric Martin's Big Acoustic. You got a bunch of shows coming up. Two I want to note is one is January 28th and 29th. 28th, you're at Rock House Live, 5709 Raleigh LaGrange Road, Memphis, Tennessee. And the 29th, you're at the Diamond Music Hall, 4105 North Cloverfield Drive, St. Peters, Montana. Missouri. I'm sorry. MO. I always get the MO and the MC.
You can't take the queens out of the classroom.
What are you gonna do? All right, what can I say?
Classic.
Classic. If you want, this guy's like my school teacher. I'm ready to take he's ready to take the ruler out and smack me. Anyway, you can find.
Wait, let's take it. I know you got to go.
I don't have to go. It's funny. It's funny that I go, Eric. It's going to be about a half hour, and Eric goes, half hour. I'm just getting warmed up. What are you talking about?
Dude,
we're in an hour now.
Half an hour is like a fuse.
Yeah, no problem. Keep going. We're going to talk about acoustic.
Well, I was going to tell you about, like you just said something about school, and you get the ruler on the knuckles. I had a teacher that used to. He was brutal, Mr. Rice. He would if you were talking in class, he would bend your hand.
Nice.
I mean, ugly, bad, fucking.
Try that today.
He'd go like this, do it, or he'd be wiping off the chalkboard, and you're talking over here. I'm passing notes back and forth, or those little note things we used to
make. The girl that turns it down 10 times.
Yeah. You go like this.
Yeah. The little origami.
She's gonna sleep with me. Well, actually, it wasn't sleep. It was kissing. Like,
no, you were going. I'm the one who wants to be with you.
Hey, I will have a hit in 40 years.
Waiting on the line of greens and what? Blues. There you go.
But everybody in class would go, I totally get it, and they hold up their mood rings. You're an idiot. All right, so they're wiping off the chalkboard, right? And I'm talking to somebody playing my little football paper,
right?
And he'd whip around and just like, poof, and throw this chalk. Like every day I'd come home, my mother would go, why is there chalk in your hair?
Throws an eraser at him.
I mean, like the Ziggy Stardust album, with chalk.
Right on your face. Well, let's talk about it real quickly. Eric Martin's Big Acoustic. Yeah. It's all acoustic, but you're also playing Trixter songs as well.
Yeah, should I call it Eric Martin?
Yeah.
Music? Fuck
that. You're the biggest. Come on, say it, Eric. Fuck that. You're the biggest star.
Fuck that. No, yeah. No, it's Eric Martin's Big Acoustic. I didn't even name that. Somebody named it, and I went, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Nobody, and I'm looking to Mr. Big Management going, is somebody going to come out of the woodwork? I mean, it doesn't have like our logo or anything. I don't think, some of it, but Eric Martin's Big Acoustic, just to say, first of all, I wrote a lot of fucking songs in Mr. Big. I'm on most of them, but
most of them.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you sing it. You sing it.
No, I don't sing the Trixter songs. Steve Brown sings the Trixter songs, and he's really good. Really good. I mean, he's got Pete Lauren down to a science. So
he taught Pete Lauren how to sing.
I don't know.
He said it in my interview with him.
He said it. Then hey, anything that comes out of that dude's mouth is true.
Yes.
I'm saying. I'm sure Pete had a sense of.
Yes. But he wasn't a singer when he met him.
But when I hear Steve Brown sing, he sounds just like Pete Lauren. So I don't know if it's vice versa or whatever, right? But anyway, the Big Acoustic thing, I've been doing it for a while, playing in Europe a lot more in Europe than the United States, playing Mr. Big songs, playing my songs. So with the Eric Martin's Big Acoustic, it's PJ Farley. It's just me, PJ Farley, and this guy Ben Hands, percussion player for Kip Winger. And then when I do the solo stuff, and I've said it a million times before. It's just for shits, giggles, and just the fun of being out of the house and rocking out to the crowd, you know? And it's kind of brat pack kind of thing, you know? It's funny. Me and Steve Brown in a room, I mean, it's like a wrestling match of words. And PJ Farley's hilarious. And then you got Joey Cassata, you know, after he's like
combing his hair.
After he's combing his hair and, you know, playing with his hair. I think that's a thing in the East Coast thing. Because there's a lot of, and maybe it's a Queens thing because, I mean,
he's a Brooklyn boy.
He's a Brooklyn boy. Is he from, he grew up in like, where?
I think he's, I don't quote me. I think he's from Bensonhurst or Bay Ridge. I think he's from that area.
I think it's Bay Ridge.
Yeah.
But it's a thing. I mean, like, you know, Joey, I think one time said, I saw you play at Lemoore with Mr. Big. And
yeah,
like,
so did I.
I thought I saw you too.
Yeah, combing your hair, like Vinny Barbarino.
You know what? The shoe fits, man.
Yes. But anyway, I want to thank Eric Martin. And I got to tell you, Eric, this is the God's honest truth. You do not age. You look exactly how you looked in 1989. You're like the Dorian Gray of rock.
Thank you for saying that, Ralph. I didn't know we were recording right now. I'm Eric Martin's father. I'm just going to go get Eric right now. Your Highness, will you come to the...
You're a legend in your own fucking zip code. You know that, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everybody.
But go. Hey, one last question. Will we be getting a new Eric Martin EMB rock album? Not acoustic, rock album.
Okay, look. I can't give you this.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you this.
Are you going to plug in and play again?
This is just, I don't know what you're reading into right now, but no, this is in limbo. This is in limbo.
That's in limbo. Okay.
Yeah,
if you need some musicians, I can get you some guys.
I bet. Hey, dude, you know, you got people calling your house.
I got
a lot of people.
I know people. You know what I'm saying? People. I know people. All right.
You know, no one is like, you're a unique fella.
That's
Ralph.
it. See that?
No one's like you. I'm glad you're doing this podcast.
Thank you.
I like this is going to be my California hippie thing right now. Okay. I like your energy.
That's what they say about me. You can't deny my enthusiasm, and I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. I told that to Carmine Appice. He spit out he was eating falafel when I was interviewing him. And when I said that, he almost spit it out.
All right.
But anyway, thank you very much, Eric, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And you've been one of my favorite vocalists. And you still are.
Name the first five.
Ronnie James Dio. I got him on my arm. I mean, I could go on and on. Paul Stanley, big Kiss fan.
So you're saying Paul Stanley is second in that line? Okay, that's your
to Ronnie James Dio. Everybody is second.
No, of course. But you got Ronnie James Dio, you got Paul Stanley, and then who else you got?
I got Ronnie James Dio. I got Paul Stanley. I got Eric Martin. You're in there, and that's the God's honest truth.
All right.
I'll give you my top five. You want my top five?
Yeah.
All right. I told you Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
I told you Paul Stanley. I told you Eric Martin. I told you Eric Martin. I told. No, that's it. I'll give you my top three, and you're in it, and that's the truth.
You're a diplomat. I like that.
And that's the truth. Eddie Money. No.
Baby, hold on to me. Oh, man.
Whatever will be.
There's a couple notes there.
There you go. The future is ours to see. No, how about you got to do Shakin'? That's a great song for you. Rosanna's daddy had a car she loved to drive.
Oh, man. I
stole the keys one night and took me for a ride. Turn up the music just as loud as it could go. Come on, sing it.
No, you are. You
blew
are.
out the speakers in a dentist radio. She was shaking.
God, I've created a monster. All right.
Eddie Money. Anyway, go see Eric Martin. Go see PJ Farley. Go see Steve Brown. And go see Joey Cassata brushing his hair. in Memphis, Tennessee, and
Hold
St.
on, Joey
Peter's.
Cassata. Joey Cassata is a great drummer.
Yes.
Hey, and this is what I tell
And
all
he
my
plays with
friends.
Rubik's Cube.
And this is what I tell all my friends about Joey Cassata. Give him a call.
Give him a call.
Give him a
Call me.
like-
EricMartin.com.
Yeah.
Right? EricMartin.com. I'll put the link.
Sure, why not?
Your website. You know,
Yeah.
you're a pisser. You're a little wise ass, you. Now I know why you got whacked in the head with an eraser.
A little bit.
Little bit. You insult him a little bit. You're a little out of order yourself, Eric. Eric, you're a little out of order yourself.
I'm about ready to move back to Kew Gardens. I'm getting tired of this situation.
You see my pictures up here? Look, I got Goodfellas. I got The Sopranos. I got Rocky.
Oh,
come on.
that-
When I'm with you backstage, I'm gonna give you my Joe Pesci impersonation.
if this was like a smell-o-rama, if you got Rocky, you got The Sopranos, and be like, do I smell baked ziti?
Baked ziti.
Is there some ziti cooking in the kitchen?
Vinny, don't put too many onions in the sauce, Vinny.
Hey, don't forget the cannolis.
Oh,
All right, that's another one. All right.
Leave the gun, take the cannolis. That's from The Godfather.
Oh, yeah. Leave the gun, take the cannolis.
Take the cannolis. All right. Go see Eric Martin, guys. Support live music. EricMartin.com. And he's on Facebook. All his tour dates are on there. And I want to thank Eric Martin for coming on the show. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Ralph. Let's do it again, man.
We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again.
Next time.
I'll see you later. Long live rock and roll. See you later, buddy.